so he's not going to be played, but he's going to make me some cash. And I will use him to get a draft set and record another draft. So that was a pretty nice rip. Not the best we could have hoped for, but money is money. So now at this point we're looking to get some way to splash burn the Impure. I probably wouldn't just raw dog it with like 2 mountains or something in my deck, because that just makes all your draws worse. Like, it's just, you don't want to draw mountains when you're really needing to hit like double blue or double green or double black. So we will see, and this could take a while. I'm just gonna pause real, and we're back. We've got a Trigon of Corruption, which is pretty bombing. Some good white and red cards here too, but I'm going to slam this Trigon because it's really good, especially with Infect, because then they get pretty badly beat up. Their creatures get smaller. You can then put counters on them, finish them off. So here we have 2 Mirror. I did say I wanted an Iron Mirror, but I don't think I'm really going to pick it up now. I think we've got an on-color Mirror, but more importantly, a good Infect creature. He's not great, honestly. Like, he's sort of sometimes totally useless and sometimes really good. And Untimed Might is just a great card, win out of nowhere. But we are kind of low on creatures right now. Again, like, tell me if I'm being totally dumb, but I just can't like stress enough how important it is to have a critical mass of Infect guys to just put your deck over the top, like make it capable of winning. Here we will take a Mirror. Copper Mirror is a welcome addition to our deck. Certainly not bad at all. And now we've got some interesting options. We have the Darksteel Axe, which is great with Infect, especially with something like Plague Stinger. And we've got this Engulfing Slagworm, which will win you games. It's pretty darn big and hard to block. But I don't know if I really want to go. It's like a 7-drop. We're kind of more of an aggressive deck, and Darksteel Axe would be pretty great. I would probably just cut something. I'd cut Infiltration Lens or Strider Harness or something to play this. So I'll pass the Slagworm. It's not exciting me a whole lot. Here, Vector Asp is terrible, but Trigon of Infestation is pretty nice. It gives you some late game action. It makes, once it's on the battlefield, your opponent really just can't stop worrying about poison, because you're not just going to run out of steam. You're just going to keep making little dudes. Like, it's once you've exhausted the counters on it, you're only getting, like, you're spending 4 mana over the course of 2 turns for just a 1/1 Infect, but even that can be enough to just like wear your opponent down, because you can just keep sending them in, and if they keep blocking, their creatures will just keep getting smaller, and if they don't block, they just start getting poison counters. So, and of course, even a 1/1 Infect can do damage with stuff like Mirrored Metal and Predation. I do wish that I had that Untamed Might. It's such a great card for a deck like this, but I just think that the creatures are what's really important here. So I'm going to start making some cuts. Oh, here we go. Nice. Another Iron Mirror and a Trigon, and this is where I am going to take the Trigon because it's pretty great in Infect. I think we're probably not going to play Burn the Impure, which is alright. We've got Spread the Sickness. We don't really need to weaken our deck to play off-color, like removal spell. Normally I would if I weren't playing Infect. We're not going to play both Unnatural Predation, but it won't let me hide just one, which is dumb. I'm going to cut this Strider Harness and Viridian Revel. That's not going to be main deck quality. And the Tangle Mantis can go. He's just not part of our game plan. So we will see what we get here. Excellent, excellent. Untamed Might. We're slamming that guy. He's this weird, like, flower-headed dude punching out of a Vulcan in the face. It's just a great card. It's like a big old Shoryuken right to your opponent's gut, and it'll win games out of nowhere. Once your opponents know you have it, they'll play around it the whole game. which can be good for you actually, because if you don't have it and they think you do, like, they'll play differently, and you can exploit that by making different, like, if you want them to block one of your guys, you can send it in, and they'll often be like, well, how much mana does he have? It's enough to might me out of the game, so I better block, and then you can get some good out of that. Here is absolute garbage, and I'm just going to take this because it's uncommon. I don't know. It's worth like a fraction of a cent more than a random common would be. Obviously not going to play it, and I don't care if it gets played against me, so I maybe should have just left it in there, but I don't know. I don't want to count on my opponents playing bad cards, and all those other cards were arguably worse. So Strandwalker is going to do some good work for us. More garbage. I don't want to get swamp walked to death, I suppose. Ooh, okay. So there's a Fume Spitter and a second Untamed Might, and while I like Fume Spitter a lot, it's really a good deterrent. I'm gonna take the second Might because they rarely see that coming. Once you use Might once, they typically will. Your opponent, by they I mean your opponent, will typically assume that you don't have another one, which is a reasonable assumption. But when you do, it can really mess people up. Put the hurt on them. You can use one without fear of them if they kill your guy in response or something. Like, usually that's a blowout, but if you have a second one, the danger is still there. And again, it's a lot of it is like just the surprise factor. Like, if you use your first Untamed Might game 1, they will expect you to play it again, and then if you use it again game 2 and they're prepared for it and they counter it, they will have this sense of satisfaction and be much less likely to expect the second one. So I'm going to start building here. I put in one each of one of the Predation and the Metal. We do have quite a few pump spells, so I'm not sure whether those will all make the cut. We're going to add in our guys. I'm going to put in both Flenser Mites for now. He would be first on the chopping block, but he is a creature with infect, so there's nothing really I can't really cut him too much. So we're going to start adding our various equipments. Copper Mirror will be good, accelerate us out to our 4 drops. Trigon of Rage is excellent for just finishing them off very fast. Corruption and Infestation are very good. So we have the triple Trigon action going. Strandwalker and Juggernaut. So now we have 25 cards. Let's look at our CMC here. I'm going to start by cutting the lens. I love drawing cards, obviously, in an aggro deck like this, but even in Infect, like, it's kind of not quite where you want to be. Let's see, only 12 Infect creatures. I mean, Corrupt Infestation is kind of a creature, I suppose. And so we need to make one more cut. I do want to play 17 lands because we've got a fair amount of 4, 5, and 6 in our curve, and Untamed Might will just get better and better the more mana sources we have in play. I will cut the Defiance. I might bring it in if I see a good use for it, such as, I don't know, Argentum Armor or something. But if not, then it can stay on the bench. So Predation is good, very good with Juggernaut, so I'm going to keep that. That would be my next cut if I had to cut anything else. I don't expect to get the full +4/+4 out of Mirror and Metal. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 artifacts, so we can't really expect to be metal crafting with great regularity. But even just the +2/+2, like, if you think about it this way, like, the +2/+2 is kind of like +4/+4 on a normal creature when you're dealing poison. Like, that's not really a fair thing to say because it doesn't apply to creatures, it only applies to life totals. But generally you won't be using this as a combat trick. You'll want to try and use it to just, like, as kind of like burn to the face, where it's just deal more damage than they were expecting or win the game outright. So we'll see what they suggest. 9/8. Let me just take a little closer look, because we have the copper mirror as a green source. So that would be 10 green sources and 8 black sources. And that seems about right, I think. Let me just look at my color again. Yeah, we have a little bit more green than black. I don't know, I might go 8 and 9. Which do I want more in the early game? Let's see. I do want to hit these guys. Yeah, most of my green are up here, and in these tricks, and in these tricks. I think I will go 8. 8, 9, plus copper mirror will equal 9 and 9 each. I have more double green in my deck, but I have more black in that I want to play on turn 2. This may be the wrong thing to do. I just don't know. I don't think we'll have trouble with our colored mana situation either. We only have 2 double green and 1 double black in the whole deck, so we're not color hungry, really. So we've got that. We've got our deck, and we're going to submit, and I will see you in round 1.